Hi, my name is Pete Hahn, and thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of video tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's video. This week's video is going to be continuing the series on Thinkorswim's mobile application. I will be demonstrating the mobile application on an iPad Air 2. This week's video will be covering the watch list. In this video, I will show you how to add and remove columns to the watch list, and I will show you how to add custom columns to the watch list. Now, I've built some custom watch lists specifically for the iPad version, and I built those on the Thinkorswim desktop application. One of the handiest things about the Thinkorswim platform, whether it be the desktop or the mobile version, is that most of your settings and most of your things like watch lists and chart studies are all saved on the Thinkorswim server. So if you do something on the desktop version, most likely it's going to be replicated on the mobile version. So for instance, every watch list that I've created on my desktop version is also available on my mobile version. If I make a change on the mobile version, it's going to update that change on the desktop version. Okay, so any custom studies that you build on the Thinkorswim desktop application will be available on your mobile version in your Charts tab. Okay, before we get on to the details, a couple of housekeeping items. One is a disclaimer. That is that I'm not a professional trader. Nothing in this video should be interpreted as a recommendation or an advertisement to buy or sell any financial instrument. I'm not here to tell you how to make profits in the markets. I'm here to show you how to use your Thinkorswim platform and how to get the most out of it and spend quality time instead of quantity time in front of your charts. Okay? Oh, the other item I wanted to bring up, I wanted to give a big thank you to everyone out there. You guys have been tremendous about leaving comments and hitting the like button, and I'm getting a lot of engagement on the YouTube channel, and it's really helping out. Also, the Facebook page is getting a lot of engagement, Google Plus, all these social media platforms that I use to try and get the word out so that I can help more of you traders out there who are using the Thinkorswim platform become more effective and more efficient at what you're doing. We get the word out by utilizing those social network skills, and the currency, as I said in the previous video, is likes, shares, comments. That's what makes this thing work, and that's what gets the word out. Okay, let's get right into it. I've got my Thinkorswim platform open up here on my iPad, and I'm going to press the button in the far upper right, and it's a couple of arrows pointing away from each other, and I'm going to press that for my watch list, and it's going to open my watch list. Now, I've got it set up for column view, and what I want to show you is when you initially load your platform and go to a watch list, it's going to start off with this view, and it's sort of packed with information. No, it's really packed with information. There's a whole lot of stuff here, and you've got, over here on the left, you've got this little snap chart. So you get a little view of maybe like the past day's worth of activity. So you can see, as we scroll down here, you look at that little gray line for each of these charts, you can see Triple D was choppy all day. Let's see, EOG had a little dip and recovered at the end. Facebook was flat all day long. So it kind of gives you an idea of what the recent trend is, just in a nice quick little view. It's really handy. So let's see, what else have we got here. None of these columns can be adjusted. All that you can do from this view is add and remove symbols using the icon in the upper right that I just pressed. And I showed you how to do that in the previous video. It's real simple. You can press and hold and move any of these stocks and ticker symbols, that is, and you can go ahead and reorganize things as you want. You can go ahead and add. So for instance, we'll do a search, okay? And let's see, try to find one that I haven't added to this yet. Maybe Pfizer's not on there. So let's look and see if Pfizer's on there. And PFE. Okay, so I just typed in the ticker symbol. I knew what the ticker symbol was, so I just typed it in. You can type in the name of the company. Then you've got this little green plus button, and as soon as you press that, it's going to add it to the very top of your list. Now you can dismiss the keyboard. I'm going to press the button in the bottom right, and that dismisses the keyboard. And now I can press and hold and then drag Pfizer all the way down to the P's. HIJKLMNOP. Let's see, there we go, right about there, I think. Yes. All right, so that's how you add a new symbol to your watch list, and it's very simple also to remove them. I'll go ahead and remove Pfizer. All I have to do is press that red button and then hit delete, and it goes away. Then I press done, and I've updated my watch list. Okay, so on this view, you've got, as I said, no ability to customize the columns. The columns are fixed. In addition to the snap chart on the left, you've got the description of the company, and you've got the last, you've got the bid and ask, and you've got a lot of metrics over here in the far right side. You've got your volume, you got a sizzle index, let's see, you got a volatility index, you got a put call ratio, you got the beta, the yield is there. That's really handy because if you want to see which ones are yielding 2.5%, 4%. Look at this down here. CAT is yielding 4.74%. That's really handy right there on this screen. You can get a lot of information. You got the PE ratio, earnings per share, market cap, historical volatility, and implied volatility. This is really, really useful. I mean, they did a great job of packing a massive amount of information into a tiny little spot right here. Okay, so we'll go to the center button here, and this changes things a little bit. Now what you're doing is you're condensing everything, and notice we're able to get we're able to get every single item that's on my list displayed on one screen. I have to move it around just a little bit, but you can see that this one doesn't show any of those metrics. All it shows you are the ticker symbol, the last price, the net change, and the snap chart. So you can look at your portfolio. Let's say this represented your portfolio of stocks, and if they were all longs, you'd be able to look at and see with a single glance which ones might be in trouble for the day or which ones might be doing like rock stars. Notice you got a couple of symbols here under Tesla and Twitter. There's a little yellow bell. Well, that stands for alert, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But that's just indicating that there are some alerts tied to those particular symbols. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you the third and final tab of the watch list, and that's where things get really interesting because that's where you get to customize your own columns just like you do a watch list on the Thinkorswim desktop platform. And I'm going to sneak in a couple of custom studies that I've built and tweaked specifically for the mobile application. And I'm going to show you how I use those and how useful that would be, that you can use them right here on your mobile device and just like you use them on your desktop version. So stay tuned. Okay, in order to access the third and final view of the watch list, I'm going to access that button in the center top of the screen. I'm going to press the section on the right, and that's going to take us to the watch list column view. Now, this is the part of the watch list that is fully customizable. The only thing lacking, in my opinion, is the ability to sort by column. Now, I tried sorting by a column and I looked for settings that allowed for that. I didn't see it, so I sent in an email to support. And you guys, I encourage you to as well. If it's a feature that's important to you, by all means, send an email to support@thinkorswim.com and ask them that you'd like to be able to sort a watch list by specific columns. Let's say you wanted to sort it by net change. I think you should be able to just press on net change and have the watch list automatically sort accordingly. Or if you wanted to sort by symbol, let it sort by symbol just by pressing the word symbol. Okay, so I'll show you what you can do, what can be modified on this screen, and we'll use the icon in the upper left, the gear icon. We'll press that one time. And here you can see a list of existing columns. These are all the columns laid out on the chart right now. And I will show you how quickly and easy it is. I'm going to remove the bid ask. All I do is press and delete. And I want to remove the bid ask size. So the minus sign and then click on delete. and then we'll press anywhere on the background, and you can see those columns have been removed from the watch list. Okay, now as I promised earlier in the video, I'm going to show you some custom columns that I built specifically to work with the watch lists in the mobile version. And I'll show you how to add those, and I'll show you what they look like and how to interpret their readings. And then after that, I'm going to show you what they look like on a chart, so how you can navigate back and forth from your watch list to the chart. And lastly, I'll show you the code that I used to build those custom watch lists so that you can build them yourself and use them as a template to make your own modified version that specifically fit the mobile version. Okay, next up I'm going to show you how to add those custom columns to this watch list. We'll go ahead and press the gear icon in the upper left, and we can scroll down to custom quotes, and then we can scroll down through the list. Now this list of custom quotes, all of these were created on my Thinkorswim desktop platform. These are all custom columns that I built, that I saved, and that I used on my watch list in Thinkorswim's desktop application. They're saved on the server, and they're available here on the mobile application as well. So if you see at the bottom here, I've got 4 custom columns, each beginning with the letter I. That's just a little trick that I use for grouping all of the indicators together, which I have tweaked and adapted specifically for use on Thinkorswim's mobile platform. Now, why would I need to do that? Well, I'll give you an idea. I found out through trial and error that the custom assignment of background and foreground color, in other words, the cell color and the text color, those don't get picked up. Dynamic color is not getting picked up in the custom watch list columns. So whereas on my desktop application, I've got color-coded columns that tell me the position of, for instance, the TTM squeeze, on the mobile version, it's presently not available. It will simply show a numerical value and nothing more. You can't change the background color. So if that's something that's important to you, as it is me, go ahead and send an email request to support@thinkorswim.com and ask them to add that as a feature. For now, let me go ahead and add these in, and I'll show you what they look like. So I've got a weekly and a daily of 2 different types of custom columns. The first one I'll show you is simply the histogram of the MACD, and is indicated by the IW Hist M. I'll go ahead and press the green button and add that in, as well as the daily. All right, we'll press on the background. Well, before we press on the background, let's go ahead and scroll up here, and it just adds them to the bottom of the list, which is the far right. And what I want to do is I want to press and drag these up, and I want them just to the right of net change. So I'll click and drag, press and drag that is, and then I can press anywhere in the background, and now you can see what I've got is these columns will display either a 555 or -1. So I can't use a color, so I can use something of numerical value that jumps right off the screen at you. So you can see wherever you have the 555 in both columns, you obviously have a MACD histogram that is trending in the direction of the code, in this case up. So we'll look at Chevron Corporation. It's got 555 for both the weekly and the daily. So we'll go ahead and press on that. It'll open up a dialog. You can trade from this screen, or you can show details, which is what we'll do. Now let me go ahead and maximize this chart. And you can see that this chart is currently set up for the daily time frame. Let me move it to the weekly time frame, and then you can see off to the right here, I'll use the cursors and the crosshairs, I should say, and you can see that the MACD is indeed trending higher, which is what picked up on that watch list. So now let's go ahead and go back to the daily chart, and again we'll look at that histogram, and we really need to use the crosshairs on this one. You can see that on this bar the histogram has a value of 1.36, and on the current bar it has a value of 1.4, so it is higher than the previous bar, and that's what got picked up on the watch list. Pretty handy, huh? Alright, so let's go ahead and minimize this chart, and then we'll maximize the watch list. And from here I'll go ahead and use the gear icon again to add in the custom columns for the other 2. So I'll go to custom quotes. I will scroll down until I find my RSI, and these last 2 here, it's daily and weekly, so you got multiple time frames involved, and what you've got is the Rsi Macd Scan. essentially the same code as that previous video that we've already done for the desktop application. So if you're not familiar with how to run scans and you want to know more about what this code is all about and how it's calculating the signal, then be sure to watch that video. I'll try to link it up above here, but it's on the YouTube channel. Okay, so I'll press the green buttons to add those two to my watch list, and I'll scroll up and press and drag those into position. I'm going to put them just to the right of the MACD histogram columns. Okay, and then I can press anywhere in the background. You can see I've done something a little different to this one to make it stand out a little bit, and that is I have gone ahead and made the signals for the Rsi Macd appear as a 999 and the non-signals appear as -1. So it stands out a little bit differently. If you're just taking a quick glance, you can tell quickly that it's a different signal than the MACD histogram. Okay, and what you can see now is you've got the 999 appearing for a weekly on Colgate-Palmolive. So it's got a signal for the Rsi Macd, and if you watch that video, you'll see that what this indication means is the RSI has gone down for a period of time and then has come up out of that, indicated by the MACD moving in the positive direction. So we'll go ahead and press on that, and we'll go ahead and go to details and view the chart. I'll go ahead and maximize the chart. And remember, it was the weekly chart where we picked up that signal, so let me change the chart to a weekly chart. And if we use the crosshairs here, we really don't even need the crosshairs. You can see here is where the RSI went below the oversold condition, and then it was a few days later that the MACD began to turn upward, and this is what is being picked up by that custom column. It's the same thing as the scan that we did in the previous video. Alright, so we'll go back and take a look at the watch list. So there you have it. As I said, it would be really handy, very useful feature if you could sort by columns, and that way you could stack all of your signals together and be able to thumb through them very quickly. But even without that, you can see that it's pretty easy to spot these. If you just scroll right through the list, you can see where the signals are and where they are not present. So hopefully that helps you guys. And let's see, for the rest of the video here, I will be showing you how I created those custom columns on the Thinkorswim platform. So we're going to be moving over to the Thinkorswim platform, and I'll show you the rest from there. I'm going to post the code here at the Hahn-Tech website. So if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, then I'm going to provide a link here so that you know how to get to the post for this video on the Hahn-Tech website. And from there, you'll be able to copy and paste this code for these custom columns directly into your Thinkorswim platform. Okay, we're going to walk through that step by step coming up. Stay tuned. Okay guys, we're just about done. I'm going to show you quickly how I built those custom columns in the Thinkorswim desktop application. That's where we are now. We're on my Windows desktop and we're looking at my Thinkorswim desktop application. And you can see here we're on the Market Watch tab looking at quotes, and it's the same exact watch list that I had on my Thinkorswim mobile platform. As I said, it all transfers over because it's all stored on the server. What doesn't transfer over, however, is the columns. The columns you have to actually manually add. The columns on the Thinkorswim desktop application are stored locally. So if you add a column or change its position on the desktop version, it's not going to impact the mobile version. So that's the one thing to be aware of. Some of the settings are stored on the server, some are stored locally. Okay, so you can see I've got the 4 columns here set up on the watch list. And for the desktop application, we access the gear icon and we select Customize. And you can see that I've got a list of custom columns here. If I go to that selection here from the list, Custom Quotes, and here are a list of all of my custom quotes. Okay, so I've got here on the list, you can see the ones, these are the same ones that I just added to the Thinkorswim mobile application. And all you do is you take one of your custom quotes. They usually start off with custom 01, custom 02, and you might have 20 of these, 1 through 20. And you can see that I've converted almost all of mine over to custom columns. I've only got a couple left. So at some point you've got to recycle them because you only have a limited quantity. So what you do to create these is you simply take the scroll icon and you click on that, and then you go to the ThinkScript editor and you take whatever code's in there and you blot it out, and then you paste in the code that you want to create your custom column. And this is demonstrated step by step in a video, and I'll go ahead and link that now. I think it's a good idea that you guys have access to that video. If you haven't seen it yet and you're lost here, it's like, how do I do a custom watch list? I don't know how to do a custom watch list column. Don't panic, relax. It's right here. Watch that video, come on back, and this will all make sense to you. All right, so we'll go ahead and hit cancel here, and if you just follow those instructions in that video, this is all the code there is for that MACD histogram. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Just 3 lines. That's it. And here's where it assigns either a 555 for a good signal or a -1 for a null signal. Pretty simple. And then you just change the aggregation period and set your name. It's pretty simple. Hit cancel, and I'll show you the code for the Rsi Macd. This is, again, just the same code that was used on that video. And I think I'll go ahead and link that here too as well, because if you haven't seen that video and you're not sure how this code actually creates a signal and what does a signal mean, watch the video, come back here, and decide whether or not you want to use this in your custom watch lists. So all I've done is I've changed the bottom section here. I've gone ahead and replaced the scan statements here. This right here used to say plot scan, and this one here used to say plot scan, and all I've done is changed it from a plot to a define, and I've changed it from scan to signal. That's all I've done right there. And then I take that signal as it's defined here, and I use that signal to say if you have a signal, then plot 999, otherwise just print a -1. That's how that works. It's really simple. So that's the code right there. I'm going to go ahead and post this, as I said, on the Hahn-Tech website. It's going to be the post where this video is presented. So if you're viewing this video on the YouTube channel, then go ahead and click this link that I'm providing now. It will take you to the Hahn-Tech post on the website, and you'll be able to scroll down to the bottom below where the video is linked, and underneath the video in that post, at the bottom of the post, you'll see some code blocks where you can simply copy and paste this code into your Thinkorswim platform. Okay, it's that simple. So again, if you're lost at this point, I've linked a couple of videos here. Just go back and view those videos. They should get you up to speed, and all of this should make really good sense to you. Great. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and hope this was helpful, hope this was useful. This is really, I think, a very useful tool, this Thinkorswim mobile platform, and I'm excited to present this material to you. I think the next video is going to be on charts. It's probably going to be very detailed. You might feel like you're drinking from a fire hydrant again, but you're probably used to that by now. But I'm going to try to do it methodically, carefully, step by step, so that you guys see all the robust, rich features that are available on that Thinkorswim mobile platform. Great. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Thanks, and take care.